Welcome back to WaterparkRanger's Let's Play Wind Waker. Last episode we started the final dungeon, Ganon's Tower, and we're continuing with that final dungeon. This episode, we just went through the Goma door and defeated Goma. Or I should say the Dragon Roost Cavern hallway and defeated Goma. And this time we're going to go through the Forbidden Woods hallway. There are a few hallways that lead off from the main room. Honestly, we could go through them in any order, but I'm going to be going through them in the order of which we encountered each dungeon. The pine cones up there are just good for little magic and stuff if you need it. We don't really need it, though, because we have so many potions. But why use them, you know? As long as you can replenish all your supplies from the surrounding environment, why not just use that? See, we're going green, and I don't say that just because everything in this hallway is incredibly green. Alright, and let's use the Deku Leaf on that little... off. Okay, we're gonna have to wait. You kind of have to stand to the side so that the gust gets past that giant root. But once you hit that propeller, it'll bring that platform on the wire over here. And then we'll just fly over to it, and then gust ourselves across. Ganon's Tower and Ocarina of Time is very familiar to this because you have to go through different obstacles that are vaguely based off the dungeons that you have to go through. No, I say vaguely because they break from the... Whoa! Fail! Alright, we're back where we left off. I think I was talking about, like, Ocarina of Time Ganon's Tower. Although it has hallways just like this one, there are actually more of them, and they're a lot harder in Ocarina of Time. Oh my god, the fire one I remember being really annoying. Or maybe it was the forest barrier. Because actually, I remember, this game actually, its hallways are more like the dungeons themselves, but in Ocarina of Time, they're just kind of weird. Just weird challenges, and they have one that protects each, like, medallion you have to go after. So it doesn't... It's kind of a similar concept, but it's actually pretty different if you play both games. Anyway, because we went through a Forbidden Woods hallway, in here we have to deal with Kalidemos. However, Kalidemos, I recall, being incredibly easy to defeat with a Master Sword. I remember that the first time we fought it with a Hero Sword, we beat it up so much in one round that we only needed to hit it once, once we opened it up a second time. So this time it's going to be pathetic, and you'll just see, after we use the Hero's Charm, how quickly we take this boss down. It's ridiculous. I think this might be the fastest boss in the game. Alright, let's roll right in, take care of business. Done. Admittedly, I think that took more hits than Goma, but see, it was just so pathetic. Also, it's so stupid, like, they give you so many fairies here. You're never gonna run out of fairies in Ganon's Tower. There are fairies in, like, all the rooms. It's kind of disappointing, actually. Like, I have to say, for a final part of a game, I would rather they put more challenging... they make it more challenging by giving you less opportunities to heal. Like, in Mother 3, for example, the final dungeon in Mother 3 is one of my favorite final dungeons just ever, or maybe my favorite final dungeon ever, because of how original it is in, like, every single respect. However, for, like, each room that you go into, there's, like, something in the beginning of that room that will give you an immediate save and replenish all of your life and all of your magic, and it's not even tough to fight, like, the enemies or bosses in it. So yeah, that's where I have to complain about difficulty levels. Seeing, there's even a fairy that randomly came out of one of the coffins there. Obviously, we don't want to hang around in that first hallway too much because there's actually redeads down there if you let them come out of the coffins. However, here, I recommend pulling these things to you with a hookshot, getting them hit by the light so that they turn into stones, and then using them to weigh down the switches just like we did in the actual Earth Temple so much time ago. It's kind of frustrating to get them right there, so stand close to the switch but not onto it, and then you'll be able to drop them about one square ahead of you onto the switch. And of course, if you take too long, they're going to break free, get off the switch, and that'll make the, it'll basically make, yeah, the stairs go back up just like that. So we got a switch here, but no light nearby. Instead, the light is all the way over there. So we gotta roll through there, past the coffins. We'll go as straight as we can so that we don't get hit. I feel like Indiana Jones when we get past these things. Oh man, we got hit by the last one. One thing I do have to say about this is a really, really asinine trap. I'm gonna tell you about this beforehand. After you press down the switch with the choo-choo and are running to the held down staircase, they spawn a Stalfos right in front of the stairs, and usually what happens is that Stalfos is gonna block you during its cutscene, and so you won't have enough time to get to the stairs. We'll have probably just enough time right here. Yeah! Take that, Mr. Stalfos. I know that I've seen some people get actually hit by the Stalfos and knocked up onto the stairs. Which is awesome. I think it might have happened to me on my first playthrough, come to think of it. That's a really horrible trap. I seriously hate that trap. Anyway, we have to fight Jalhalla again, and Jalhalla is actually kind of tough to see, because everything's so black and white. Yes, it's not always black and white, but here it's black and white. Anyway, let's turn him into solid black and white. It's really interesting seeing this in black and white, because there's actually an option on iMovie that I use to edit movies. Basically all my recorded things in Let's Plays. That can change basically all the footage into black and white. Very simple feature, you know, like any movie editor probably has it. I'm just saying that it's really interesting to try it out, like on an episode like this, because then it would basically look the same. It was a really interesting idea to make these segments black and white, but keep certain things colored in. Anyway, we're doing the same amount of damage that we did to this guy in the first place, because we had the Master Sword by this point. Like I said, there's... As I mentioned earlier, I think at one point, they don't bring back things from Tower of the Gods or the Forsaken Fortress. They don't have their own hallways here. They just skip over the 3rd and 4th dungeons for some reason. I guess it wouldn't make too much sense for there to be a Tower of the Gods hallway, considering... Oh man, we got hit by the lantern, actually. Not bad, Jalhalla, not bad. You managed to hurt us. That's a new high for you. Actually managing to cause damage to your opponent. But yeah, it wouldn't make too much sense for them to have a Tower of the Gods hallway because, the boss there was actually not a minion of Ganon. It was sent by the gods to fight us. And what do you know, we defeated him the exact same way that we defeated him back at the Earth Temple. Skull Hammer and Boomerang. Did we use the Boomerang? I forget. Whatever. I know that we used the Skull Hammer. Alright, that takes care of the 3rd barrier on that door. There's only one more. And you might recognize the icon there. So we're going to be going through the Wind Temple hallway next. It's kind of interesting. Each hallway has like a remixed version of the Ganon's Tower theme with a little bit of the instruments from whatever dungeon it's recalling added to the song. Like in here, you've got some Wind Temple sounding instruments in the background. In the Earth Temple hallway, you had like the Earth Temple. You know what I'm talking about? So it's like they have a remix for each hallway, which is pretty cool. I kind of wish they had something like that in Ocarina of Time. Like, that was a really cool thing they put in this game. Although, I've looked at the official OST for Wind Waker, and they don't have the hallway remixes on the soundtrack. Oh man, Wizrow! Haha! Too bad we saw you coming. So yeah, there's a Wizrow in here. So just fly through these 2 jets right here. Don't get hit, otherwise they'll blow you down into that bottomless pit down there, which will be bad, obviously. Let's get around that spike trap, and take out the Bokoblins down here before we do anything else. Oh man, we got hit by one. Man, they're putting up some serious fights. And then we'll just use our hookshot to pull ourselves up to that ledge, and face off against Molgera, who was the boss of the Wind Temple. But because we spent enough time doing that this episode, while going through the dungeon, we'll fight Molgera next episode. See you then.